On March 27th, a mass shooting took place at the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee. 6 people were murdered, of whom 3 were third-grade children. It was the 127th mass shooting of the year. Days later, the Tennessee State Legislature acted quickly and decisively. But what did they do? Did they introduce or advance any gun safety legislation? No, they did not. Did they reflect that Tennessee, much like Georgia, has some of the most lax gun laws in the country? No, they did not. Did they note that gun violence is the #1 cause of death in children and teenagers in the U.S.? And did they acknowledge that as leaders, they have not just the power, but the moral obligation to meet the moment with not just thoughts and prayers, but with action? No, they did not. Instead, 10 days later, the Republican supermajority Tennessee legislature chose to use its time and its might to silence the lawmakers who demanded more of their colleagues. Today, I want to ask the members of that legislature who voted to remove their own members 3 questions. First question, what problem have you solved? Second question, whose interests are you serving? And the third question, is anyone safer because of what you've done? I will help them answer. First, what problem have they solved? Well, frankly, that gets to the root of the issue, which is what Tennessee Republicans perceive the problem to be. Because to them, the problem is not the uniquely American epidemic of gun violence. And the problem to them is not the hundreds of preventable deaths each week that they are uniquely positioned to prevent. And the problem is not lacking the power to act. No, because to our Republican colleagues, the problem they choose to focus on is that of being shamed, of being called out, and being made to feel uncomfortable in the face of their own moral fecklessness and their choice to do nothing. In answer to the second question, whose interests are being served? It is clearly not the interests of their constituents or the people of Tennessee, the people they were all elected to serve. Nor is it the interests of the families and communities of those killed at the Covenant School, who are crying out for their elected officials to finally do something to protect our children. Instead, the interests being served and the rights Tennessee legislators are defending are those of the gun lobby and the moneyed special interests who blithely accept the preventable death of children as simply the cost of doing business. Finally, is anyone safer for what they did yesterday? I think Tennessee Republicans would say yes, because now they feel safer. In the face of abdicating their responsibilities and in the face of their own cowardice, they now feel safer because they have now eliminated the colleagues in their own chamber uniquely positioned to call them on their BS. Every morning, the Republican members of the Tennessee State Legislature will have to wake up, look at themselves in the mirror, and know that in 2023, children were murdered on their watch, while in response, they did nothing. But at least they were able to silence, however briefly, the voices narrating that cowardice in real time. The day after the shooting at the Covenant School, a Tennessee congressman said at the steps of the U.S. Capitol in response to a question about gun violence, quote, "We're not gonna fix it." Here are the facts. If your attitude is, "We're not gonna fix it," then stand aside because we are going to elect people who can. The Georgia House Democrats stand with our colleagues in Tennessee. They may have tried to steal your power and silence your voices, but this isn't over. The work continues, and we stand and fight with you.